This video won't be me going in depth about Paimon herself. I've already covered that before, but I want to make a video about the people around Paimon instead. I've had people ask me this: why doesn't anybody question Paimon's existence? To us, as a viewer, it's obvious that Paimon is suspicious. Paimon herself is a mysterious entity whose origins are just as known as the Traveler. She can create pocket dimensions, fly, have book knowledge of Tevat, and consume copious amounts of food because of her allegedly multiple stomachs. The only reason she is not a stronger entity may have just been because of her lack of memory before being found by the Traveler. So I ask, why does nobody bother to look into Paimon's existence? Well, people do question Paimon's existence, but they don't really consider it as anything below surface level.
This travel companion of yours, do you know anything of her origins? No matter what, I cannot seem to discern a single shred of information regarding this floating fairy's fate. Oh? So you don't know where she comes from either?
The Traveler and Paimon also shut down any question by either joking about it or just saying that Paimon is the best travel companion in Tevat. Neither the traveling duo seem to want to divulge any more information than necessary about their past. But we do know characters like Albedo, Rosaria, and Amber who do start the initial question of what is Paimon, only to completely dismiss it afterward in favor of continuing the plot. Characters do wonder who Paimon is, but they just lack solid information. What's even more fascinating is when the Celestials talk about Paimon, but they don't really give any more foreboding hints about Paimon except that she likes food. When asked, Venti calls Paimon a minor inconvenience because she never stops eating. Zhongli also warns the Traveler not to let Paimon ingest the medicine for Xiao because nothing in this world can withstand it. If Paimon really does have celestial connections, especially since Venti used to know the god of time, then the Archons would be the first one to scrutinize her presence, even if Paimon lost her memory. Well, after everything, I've come up with two potential theories. First is that maybe it's a part of Paimon's mysterious skill set to divert any suspicion off of herself. Paimon's power set is currently unknown to us, but we do know that maybe her power activates passively without her control. Well, what if one of those powers is to create a form of mental whiplash when someone tries to probe deeper into her existence? The uncanny valley is a term used to describe the relationship between the human-like appearance of a robotic object and the emotional response it evokes. In this phenomenon, people feel a sense of unease or even revulsion in response to humanoid robots that are highly realistic. Maybe just questioning Paimon face-to-face gives a person a psychological effect just from her passive aura. Consider it like a celestial trying to subtly convince a lower being not to ask any more questions because it's just easier to accept it. Given we have more hints about the existence of a god of time that can place things in the timeline without anyone questioning anything, this doesn't seem all too far-fetched. But then we go to the second one. Paimon just really isn't all that different to begin with. Consider this. Why do we think Paimon is mysterious? Well, she looks like the sustainer of heavenly principles, and she has weird powers. The Traveler talks about her cape looking like the stars. She looks like she has connections with Khaenri'ah given her design, and her name Paimon comes from the Ars Goetia, or the Lesser Key of Solomon, where the names Barbados, Morax, Baal, and even more gods come from. But would a regular citizen of Tevat know this? Would a regular citizen of Tevat know what's a sustainer of heavenly principles? Or what an Ars Goetia is, or what a demon god is? If anything, there's a good reason why the Traveler is more fascinating than Paimon from their perspective. To them, Paimon is the same as Oz, just given a more human form. The Traveler, on the other hand, would be the equivalent of a god, capable of controlling multiple elements without a vision, and stopping other mystical beings from across the continent. So sure, to us Paimon's different, but the people of Tevat have seen literal dragons descend from the sky, the head of state living in a floating palace, people being able to control the elements at will, mortals fighting a leviathan without a vision, and so much more. I would say that Paimon is at the level of an adepti in terms of mortal curiosity at max. They don't really care about the floating pixie baby because they don't know anything about Paimon's potential origins. They never have a reason to question. Paimon is literally just a sentient Goba in Oz, and everyone doesn't really question Goba's existence either. I'd say more people question Oz instead of Paimon, given Oz is a literal talking bird. Paimon at least looks human enough to justify her speaking capabilities. So yeah, they'll ask who Paimon is and even question her origins, but they don't really have any real urgency to probe deeper because it's not out of the norm. Unfortunately, Paimon does just fit in. It's not like in our world where a floating baby child would be immediately hunted down by the government. But I want to continue this video with one final thought. What does the traveler know? And why doesn't the traveler ask any more questions either? Because the traveler does have their suspicions about Paimon, but never really got a chance to ask on it. The traveler and Paimon are both enigmas to one another. But given the way the traveler speaks about Paimon, I believe that the traveler does know about Paimon's eccentricity. In the 2.5 event, the Snake Lady asks who and what Paimon is and asks if Paimon is human, to which the traveler responds that they doubt it. And given everything, I don't doubt that the traveler already has an idea of Paimon's potential power and origins. I realize that when people ask who Paimon is, the traveler is quick to defend Paimon's role as their best friend, but they never explicitly say that she is normal, just that Paimon is their friend. They don't try to say she's human, or that she's not a weird creature, or that she's not an enigma, but all they know is that Paimon was there for them when they had no one. They trust Paimon so much to the point that they are willing to shut down other people's suspicions of her. The traveler is by no means naive or stupid. We've seen their perception time and time again, so I don't doubt that they have their reservations about Paimon. But because of their friendship, the traveler has given Paimon the benefit of the doubt. The traveling duo have a bond closer than any of the playable characters could ever have for the sole reason that Paimon knows the traveler's history and the fact that the traveler is neither human nor from Teyvat. Going through the adventure, we see that they both try to protect each other from other people's scrutiny while simultaneously maintaining their anonymity. I think that kind of friendship is valuable to the traveler, and while they know almost nothing about Paimon, all they need to know is that Paimon is their friend.
Teyvat's day and night both seem particularly short. The skies here are full of stars, but they aren't the same as the ones seen from my home. I wonder if the fates of people from Teyvat are also related to their constellations.
Oh? Do you know how to read the stars too? That's amazing! Not a lot of people outside Sumeru can do it. Paimon's curious. Come on, do a reading for me, quick!
The night sky pictured on Paimon's cape flows with the light of many stars, and also of the deep ocean. The movement of these stars tells me that in, say, 7 days from now...
In 7 days what?
something good or something bad might occur.
To end this all off, here's the direct translation of the quote from Aether's character reveal in the Chinese Genshin Twitter. As long as your attitude of nobleness and kindness do not change, in the new world, there will always be best companions to travel with you. Welcome to the new world. My name is Aster, and thank you for chilling with me.